The asteroid belt was quiet in the way only space could be quiet. Wide, patient, and completely uninterested in whether anyone survived inside it. My ship, the Second Chance, drifted through the rocks like an old dog wandering through a junkyard it secretly owned. Reminder, the navigation computer said in its polite but judgmental tone, this vessel was not designed for reckless maneuvers. Relax, I muttered, tapping the console. Neither was I. The ship creaked as I guided it between two tumbling slabs of iron-rich rock. My scanners blinked lazily across the debris field, searching for anything valuable that hadn't already been stolen by smarter scavengers. Broken satellites. Empty cargo containers. A toaster oven from some long-dead mining station. Space had excellent taste in garbage. Then the scanner chirped. A life signal. I leaned forward. That better not be a frozen raccoon again. The radar display highlighted a tiny blinking point spinning slowly between chunks of ice. An escape capsule. Or what used to be one. The hull looked like someone had tried to open it with artillery. Great, I sighed. Either a survivor, or a corpse that's about to ruin my day. The Second Chance extended its docking clamps with a reluctant whine. The capsule scraped against the hull as I dragged it into the cargo bay. The door hissed open, releasing a cloud of cold vapor that smelled faintly like burned circuitry. Inside was a woman. At least I thought she was a woman. She looked human at first glance, but then I noticed the ears, long, elegant, rising through silver hair like delicate antennae. Her suit was torn open in several places, glowing symbols fading across the fabric as if the suit itself was dying. Well, I said softly, crouching beside her, either you're an alien, or humans have gotten way more interesting while I wasn't paying attention. She didn't respond. Her breathing was shallow, uneven. I grabbed my portable medkit, the same one I once used to seal a cracked coolant pipe. Good news, I told the unconscious stranger. I technically passed a medical class once. The scanner beeped angrily. Okay, I corrected myself. I attended a medical class once. I sprayed a layer of synth foam across the plasma burns. The foam hardened instantly, sealing the wounds. Miraculously, her breathing stabilized. I leaned back, wiping sweat from my forehead. There, I said proudly. Professional. The woman's eyes suddenly opened. Sure. Alert. And very, very aware. She stared at me. I stared back. After a long silence, I raised my hands slightly. Before you panic, I said carefully, I'd like to mention that you're currently aboard a very small ship, piloted by a very unimportant human, who has absolutely no idea who you are. She kept watching me. Then very slowly she sat up. And somehow, despite being half dead 5 seconds ago, she looked like the most dangerous person in the room. Which was concerning. Because the room only had 2 people in it. She didn't say anything for several seconds. She just watched me the way a scientist might watch a strange new insect. Curious, cautious, and possibly deciding whether it was dangerous. I cleared my throat. Okay, I said slowly, this is the part where the mysterious alien either thanks the heroic rescuer, or throws him across the room. Her eyes narrowed slightly. That depends, she said quietly. Her voice was calm, but there was something sharp behind it, like a blade hiding inside silk. Depends on what? I asked. On whether you are an enemy. I looked around the cargo bay, then pointed at myself. Does this look like an enemy ship to you? I said. My navigation computer argues with me, and the coffee machine hasn't worked since last Tuesday. For the first time, something like confusion flickered across her face. You repaired my injuries, she said. With synth foam and optimism, I replied. She slowly stood. The movement was careful at first, but within seconds she was perfectly balanced, like someone who had spent a lifetime training her body not to waste a single motion. That was slightly worrying. Easy, I said. You were half dead 10 minutes ago. I am fine now. That's not medically possible. It is where I come from. Your doctors must be terrifying. She ignored that and walked toward the open cargo door, glancing around the interior of the Second Chance. Her eyes moved quickly, noticing every loose cable, every patched panel, every tool lying where I had forgotten it. You live here? She asked. Live is a generous word, I said. I drift through space collecting junk and occasionally arguing with my engine. She stopped beside the cockpit entrance. What is this vessel called? The Second Chance. She tilted her head slightly. That implies the first chance failed. Oh, spectacularly, I said. For a moment there was silence. Then the long-range scanner suddenly chirped from the control panel. What? Twice. Then a rapid series of warning tones. I hurried into the cockpit. The radar screen lit up with distant signals appearing one after another. Ships. A lot of ships. My stomach tightened. Well, I muttered, that's new. The woman stepped beside me and studied the display. For the first time since waking up, she looked tense. How many? She asked. Hard to say, I replied. Enough to make me reconsider all my life choices. The scanner zoomed out. More signals appeared. Military signatures. Fast. Heavily armed. And moving directly toward us. I glanced sideways at her. Please tell me that's just a coincidence. She didn't answer immediately. Instead she stared at the approaching fleet like someone recognizing an old nightmare. Then she sighed softly. No, she said. And somehow that one word made the cockpit feel much smaller. I stared at the radar screen while the approaching fleet multiplied like very angry stars. Tell me something encouraging, I said. The woman beside me folded her arms. They will destroy this ship in approximately 4 minutes. That is not encouraging. She was quiet for a moment. 3 minutes and 40 seconds, she corrected. I leaned back in the pilot's seat and sighed. You know, I said, most passengers I pick up don't come with a personal armada. They are not mine, she said calmly. Oh good. I was worried they might be friends. The scanner beeped again. Target locks were already forming. I rubbed my temples. Okay. New rule for future rescues. Next time I find an injured alien floating in space, I'm checking for angry war fleets first. She looked at me. You could abandon me and escape. I glanced at the tiny engine output indicator. With this engine? I laughed. Running away would just make them laugh before vaporizing us. For a moment she said nothing. Then she stepped closer to the console. My name is Lyra, she said. Good to know, I replied. I'm still the guy who accidentally saved the galaxy's most wanted warrior. Her eyes shifted slightly. You know who I am. The ears were a clue, I said. Also the fleet. Outside the viewport the warships closed in. Lyra touched the console. Give me control of the transmitter. Planning to surrender? No. I shrugged and handed it over. Her voice filled every frequency in the sector. This is Lyra of the Outer Guard. The war ends today. The fleet hesitated. Then dozens of channels opened at once. Angry commanders. Confused officers. Lyra calmly transmitted battle records, hidden orders, proof that the war had been engineered by the same admirals now hunting her. Silence followed. Ships stopped advancing. Target locks disappeared one by one. I blinked at the radar. Well, I said slowly, that was much easier than dying. Hours later the fleets retreated. The asteroid belt became quiet again. I leaned back in my chair. So, I said, galactic war ended. Not bad for a Tuesday. Lyra looked out at the stars. You could take me to a station. I waited. She didn't move. Instead she slowly sat in the co-pilot seat. You fly poorly, she said. That hurts. You also helped someone you believed was helpless. I shrugged. That's kind of my thing. She studied the controls. Then perhaps, she said, you require someone who can help you survive your flying. I grinned. So you're staying? She adjusted the navigation display like she already belonged there. Yes. I started the engines. The second chance drifted forward into open space. And for the first time since I became a salvage pilot, the universe felt a little less empty. Next stop? I asked. Lyra thought for a moment. Somewhere quiet. I nodded. Good, I said. I think the galaxy's had enough excitement for 1 week. Rocket.